Hello. Welcome to MACA 1320V1202. This is Intro to Photoshop, or Photoshop, Intro to, whichever way you'd like to look at it. My name is Sean Sarcona. I am your captain aboard this crazy ship called Photoshop. You've made it this far. This is the welcome video. I want to walk you through Canvas, show you a little bit about our first day handout and what we're going to be doing. I want to make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Okay, so if you made it this far, you know where the home button is, you know where announcements are. Doesn't want to let me off of that. There we go. Okay, so you can read the announcements there. Here's our assignments, discussions, grades, people, syllabus, so on. I don't know why it's taking so long. There we go. So if you look at the assignments, all of the assignments will be listed here. Now this looks like a lot, but these are mingled in with summaries, which is the discussion forum. Okay, so we'll get into what that is in a little bit. And then basically like every other one of these is an assignment. All right, so you basically want to start off with under the home area. You want to start off with that first day handout. That's a good way to go through the class and just see, you know, what it is. So you can click on it. It'll take you to this window. If you have slow internet like I do apparently today, it'll take a little bit longer than you're probably typically used to. Boop, and wait for a PDF to download. Holy cow. Alright, here's our first day handout. It's 10 pages long. Okay, I will not read the entire thing. I want you to read the entire thing. This is our agreement for signing up for the class. So make sure you understand it well. So first thing, we have the introduction to the class. So I start off every semester with some motivational quotes. And you'll use these. If I jump back to our Canvas, we have a welcome discussion board. So if I go to discussions, and I go to introductory, it's right there. Introductory discussion forum. Sometimes they call it a board, sometimes they call it a forum, sometimes it's a summary. It's consistency for you. So introduce yourself to the class in here. Don't go into expensive background. I don't need, like, it's not a resume. It's just, you know, little short paragraph, 5+ sentences, who you are, why you're taking the class, what your thoughts are about Photoshop. Some people have years of Photoshop. Some people have 0 Photoshop. Okay. Then choose one of the quotes. One of these. Which one speaks to you? Mention the quote and then why you feel it speaks to you. Okay. You will receive 1 point for doing 2 things. Replying here, writing all this stuff out, and then waiting for somebody else to post, and then you replying to that post. Okay. So you have to do 2 things. 1, make your own post. 2, reply to somebody else's, and then you'll get a single point, and then you'll be happy that you're making progress in the class already. Cool. Here's a blank sheet of paper, and here is the information. So zoom in. My name is Sean Sarcona. You can see the spelling of my name. You can see everything there. Here is my email address. This is the best way to get a hold of me. If you call me, I will not answer the phone. I'm hardly ever in my office. Like, even though I have office hours, usually I'm in the classroom for office hours. So the best thing to do is just to email me. That way you can get a hold of me outside my office hours, outside of the days that I'm on campus. Just let me know. Questions, anything. If you do need to call me for some reason, just a prank phone call me maybe, there's my phone number. Required materials. You will need a writing utensil for the class, note-taking paper. Even though everything is recorded, even though we're not in person, you should still take notes on all this stuff. Even if it's something as simple as this video at 3 minutes, he told me to get a writing utensil and a note-taking paper, maybe I should do that. Okay, or maybe 4 minutes and 39 seconds I said that. External hard drive, 50 gigs or more. If you have a laptop that has plenty of space on it, or a desktop that has plenty of space, you should be good. You can get away with less, but our end assignments are probably going to be just the one file themselves is going to be like 2 or 3 gigs. So They get up there. Pair of headphones. So 2 o'clock in the morning, you're watching my video, have a pair of headphones on. Be courteous to your family and friends. This class is probably about 10 to 20 hours or more per week. You may need a little bit more, may need a little bit less, but that's about 10 to 20 per week. Okay. It's all depends on how fast you work. If you work fast, you may not only need 10. If you work slow, you may need 20 or 30, or you get the idea. Book. Any Photoshop book. It's optional. We don't work out of the book in this class. Any of the classes I teach, I do not work out of any books. But I do like people to have books, because if you read the books, it makes all that work a lot easier. If you submerge yourself in the Photoshop culture and you're getting used to talking Photoshop and looking at Photoshop and seeing the tools, it makes it like a million bajillion% easier. That's a mathematical fact. All right. Pluralsight account. It's not a book. It's not required, but I definitely do recommend this. This is awesome. This is like, if you ever saw a cat with pajamas, that's what this is. So if I go to pluralsight.com, that's where their website is. Eventually it'll load and it'll show you their magnificence that they have. Oh, Michelle Obama. So they have stuff up here. You can type in Photoshop. You can type in pretty much anything. You can type in basket weaving and they might have a class on that. Okay. But what it allows you to do is they have courses that are very good supplemental stuff for what we teach. This class is going to go over a wide range of skills, and you may want more information on those wide range of skills, because we don't have the time to dedicate to one specific thing. For instance, one of our assignments is photo retouching. We have 1 week of photo retouching. We use it in other areas, but that's where we're doing like mainly one assignment. But here they have 10 courses and like 1 million hours worth of stuff here, where you can get a whole bunch of stuff, more information about how you can do photo retouching. Okay, if you're a photographer, this might be an awesome class for you. Okay, so we'll go over the basics, but if you really want to push yourself to go and explore stuff a little bit further, definitely recommend getting a Pluralsight account too. Usually people save this for between semesters or summer, so they have something they could still just keep up their learning. Our education does not stop at the door, or in this case, when we turn off our computer, we have to continue learning every single minute of every day. If you get this at the bookstore, it's $100 for a year to Pluralsight account, and it's the best money you'll ever spend, as long as you use it. We are online. You do need Photoshop for the class. This is a Photoshop class. There's no other way to use Photoshop without paying for it legally. We are using 2017. You could get by with 2015. You might be able to get by with the one before that. That was 2014 or 13. But I really wouldn't want to go back further than that. Some of these tools are in different spots, or name different things, or work differently. So make sure you get Photoshop. Now you can go to Adobe's website. You type in student Adobe and Adobe.com for students. You'll save 60%. It's only $20 a month. Okay, so I recommend people go to the right window. I recommend people go and get the trial version of Photoshop, so you get like 30 days. Make sure you're in it to win it in this class, so you're not going to be dropping out in the first month, and that way you don't have to spend $20 for that month. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and they even have a $9.99 one that is just Photoshop and Lightroom, so you could do that one too. This one is a great deal, $20, and you get every Adobe program that they have there. It's amazing. Okay. All right, so get Photoshop. Dropbox account. You will need a Dropbox account. I check all my work through Dropbox. Okay, what happens is you upload your stuff to Dropbox. Dropbox sends it to me, and then I grade it, and then it can go back to you. Okay. Information. This class used to be called MACA 1300. It actually used to be called MCA 1300, but we renamed it, so now it makes more sense. Okay. We'll be using raster images. That's our biggest thing, is raster images. We'll be using them to multiple formats, manipulating images, using technology in a variety of ways, manipulating selections, saving selections, applying filters, cleaning up images, a whole bunch of stuff. You'll see every one of the specialties we have in MACA, we touch on inside this Photoshop class. So if you want to be a photographer, we touch on how to do stuff for photography. If you want to be a 3D person, we touch on that too. Okay. Here's our list of assignments. So you'll see those web page assets. There's photography. There's 3D texture. Some of these are multiple ones. Like if you look at the cartoon, there's a cartoon planning and a cartoon character. So these ones go together. Here's our photo collage. All these ones go together. Okay. So you'll see how there's not actually that many assignments. It's just a lot of individual points to get graded. You'll also notice that there's no percentages here. Okay. So there's 3, 4, 4, 6. These are the actual points that you would get for doing that. Okay, so all the points in the class add up to 100. You would be able to get 3 points towards that 100 by doing this assignment. Okay, if you only do half of it, you would get 0 points because it's not even worth me grading for only doing half of it. If you did most of it, but you had some stuff wrong, maybe you get 2 points, and so on. Okay. So it's really easy to calculate your grade. If you don't do something like, well, not that one. If you don't do the organic drawing, you just don't get those points. So then you're 7 points short of the highest grade you can get. You can forget what you were going to say. I'll come back to it when I remember it. We do have something called daily drawing. Okay, I'll get into that in a little bit. And if we look at all these points, they add up to 90. Okay, so if we added up all these numbers, it's 90. It's actually a little bit higher than 90, but I just rounded it down to 90. There's actually some like extra points in here. So just, when they're up to 90, you'll see that the extra 10 points are coming from discussion boards. Okay, so 90 points for all this stuff, and then you'll get the 10, and then the 102. Okay. Point deduction. So if you're late to class, then, or your assignments are late, then you get 1 point deducted. So if your web assignment is 3 days late, you get 0 points. That sucks. All these assignments build on each other too, so make sure you do all the assignments. Even if you get 0 points for web page, you still need to do it because it's going to build on photo, and it's going to build on 3D texture. And I'll give you a little hint. This web page assets actually comes in way at the end too. Okay, for some extra credit points. Here's some keys to success. Show up to each class on time and ready to work. Pay attention during lectures. Take notes. Ensure your work, you understand what's required. Work during class. Do homework. Meet deadlines. Ask questions. Push your skills. Keys to failure. Missing classes or constantly being late. Obviously, this is an online, so that just basically means not coming or not going into Canvas and getting your lectures and blah, blah, blah. Socializing during class. Screwing around, right? Guessing what's required, not taking notes, turning your work as you feel like it. So make sure that if you want success, you follow these steps. If you want failure, follow these steps. I hope you're in this area. Not going to read through the whole thing. Like I said, you can read through a lot of this. Your work is, your attendance is based on your work. So if you don't post, you don't read, you don't work, your grader is going to reflect it. There will be discussion forums I'll get to. Best way to contact me is in the email, so make sure you use my email address to contact me. Do not cheat. Having your friend do your work, having your dog do your work, your enemy do your work, I guess would also be cheating. Turning in somebody else's work, stealing someone's assignment, all cheating. Okay, you could actually be kicked out of the program, kicked out of the class, maybe even kicked out of the college for cheating. So don't do that. It's not worth it. You don't learn anything. We are ADA compliant, so you can definitely find out more information at special services if you need to. Don't worry about doing that. If you do have something, then just get it checked out. Okay. Confidentiality and proprietary. So we obviously try to make sure everything is nice and secret. We don't share your information. The class is 12 weeks long. We'll go to November 11th. It's when our last date is. Guidelines for being a successful successful online learner. You got to do stuff. I mean, there's nobody else in the class that's going to do your work for you. You got to push yourself to make sure you're meeting your deadlines. Especially with online, nobody's watching you. You don't have to drive out to a classroom and actually be present. So you got to make sure you're putting in the time. The class is going to fly by. 11 weeks or 12 weeks is going to go by super quick. Because we have, you'll see in a minute, an assignment basically every week to 2 weeks, you're going to be very busy with this. Okay. If you do have something pop up that you can't control, let me know. Shoot me an email. You know, I try to work with students as best I can. I know that life happens, and you know, just as an example, during the summer my hard drive crashed, and I spent probably a good week and a half, 2 weeks trying to recover stuff from it. You know, it's understandable. It happens to all of us. But just make sure that you're being responsible with everything you're doing. What you can expect from me, you can read all about that. I purposely cut that off. I didn't really, but you can get the idea what that is. Here's our schedule. All right. So here is the week's starting point, 8/21. That's the first day of class. And then here's stuff you should do. So you can click on that, read through it. You can watch the Photoshop Playing Week 1 module. That'll be the one of the other videos. There's a web page asset. That'll be our first assignment. And then here's what's due. So this is due Wednesday, the discussion board, which I'll show in a second. And then due Sunday is web page assets and web page summary. Okay, so that's what this one here is. So this one will show you how to do this assignment. Then when you're done with that, you'll turn this in. And then next week, here's another link. So you go there, read some information about it, watch the video that I made, and then you'll turn in a photo retouch stuff. Read some information, watch the video, turn it in. Okay? It's pretty simple stuff. When we get to a little bit further on, there it is. We get to stuff like this. Watch cartoon character to life planning. Okay? And then watch photo collage planning. You have to turn in stuff for planning out your photo collage, planning out your character. So some weeks you'll see there's like a whole bunch of stuff we have to do. And some weeks it's not so much. There's only a few things there. Okay? And some weeks we'll have like extra stuff in here inside the modules, which you'll see there. Okay? So it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing crazy out of the ballpark. Okay? Oopsie. There we go. Back to this. Back to modules. There you go. So modules is going to be where most of your stuff is going to be housed. This is, I try to put everything in one major spot so you can see it. There it is. So here is the video you're watching right now. Where did I put it? Welcome Week 1, so that's what you're watching right now. The next thing you'll do is you'll go to your Dropbox setup. Okay, set up your Dropbox, and then you'll go through and watch this Week 1 playing video. Okay, so Welcome Week, Dropbox setup, Week 1 playing. Okay, so that's the order that you're going to watch. Once you have these three done, then you can start on this first assignment. And that first assignment is going to be web page assets, creating assets for your web page. Up here, general course information, here's some examples of advanced Photoshop student work. So you can look at this and see what past Photoshop students have done. It's important to see what Photoshop is capable of because some people just don't realize its potential. They think it's just for, you know, you can Photoshop it, right? It's a verb somehow. But that's a car drawn completely in Photoshop. There's another car drawn completely in Photoshop. Another car completely in Photoshop. Okay. So it's got some stylizing to it. It's got some realism to it. Here are some student reels. You can check those out. Portfolio links. You can check those out. It's important, especially in these intro classes like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Design 1, Illustration Fundamentals, that you start looking at the end game. Like, where do you want to end up? And this is where you want to start looking, is in this portfolio area. Yeah, just open that new window. So these are some current and past MACA students and work that they've created. So if we go to, let's say, Nick, here's what Nick's doing now. Nick's gone through the entire program, and here's videos that Nick has created using Illustrator and After Effects. Okay. Oops, I closed it. But you can go through those student reels and see, or student links and see. Here's more reels you can also look at. Here's Sorial Illustration's professional link. So this is one of our other instructors. His name is Brian Sorial. And he has a website that has not only the introduction to Photoshop lectures on there, but also goes into some of the advanced stuff. So if you want some more advanced stuff, there it is. Here's a shortcut keys side by side. There's several different ones. People have preferences for them. All of my videos are on a PC. I enjoy using Windows. That's why they're there. Okay, so that you can see the shortcuts side by side. Here's a complete list of keyboard shortcuts. Here's just the Mac. Here's just the Windows shortcuts. Here's some CG textures, DeviantArt, use like in Photoshop, just extra stuff. Okay, use the hotkeys, print them up, keep them by your side when you're doing stuff, and then you can get super quick at Photoshop. It's not so much that you can use Photoshop, but you want to be able to use it quickly. Even though it says CS6, the hotkeys are still the same. Okay, so for stuff like hiding tools, you can just hit Tab. Okay, for going to the crop tool, you can just hit C instead of like trying to find the crop tool. Instead of going to hit the eraser, you can just hit E. Okay, so use the hotkeys. If we were in an on-grounds class, we would be having a test on those, but obviously online, it's a different story. All right, so for the calendar here, going back to our first day handout, there was a drawing portion of that. Okay, that was part of your grade. You're going to be drawing for 15 minutes every day. Okay, so start off drawing on a piece of paper. If you are serious about being an artist, get a sketchbook. They're a couple bucks at Joann's or Michael's or Meyer. Just sketch 15 minutes. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It doesn't have to be a dog. It doesn't have to be a cat. It could be anything at all. You can just draw circles or squares. The idea is you're sketching for 15 minutes. Okay. At the end of the week, take a picture of all your scans or all of your drawings and then upload them to your Dropbox folder. Okay. On Saturdays of each week, you'll see I have a word or phrase. That's the topic for that day. Okay. So just for Saturday, you interpret this how you want. And you do that. So it says basic drawing elements. So for the 26th, you do the basic drawing elements. For the 16th of September, you do a weapon. Every day you're drawing for 15 minutes. 15 minutes here. At the end of the week, you should be uploading your picture. Okay? So if you look at the number of weeks we have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? There's about 10, there are 10 weeks. And there's about 7 days in each week. So that should be about 70 drawings. By the time we hit here, I should have 70 drawings that you've done and turned in. Now, if you're someone who likes to continuously draw on their stuff, then take a picture each day. So if you drew here for 15 minutes, take a picture of it. Then you add it to that drawing, take a picture of it. You add to the drawing again, take a picture of it. Okay? You can do that. Just take a picture at each stage and just upload that. It'd be a cool thing to have too. November 11th, that's the end date for our stuff here. So make sure you're, staying aware because that's going to come super quick. Close that. And there we go. All right, so first day handout. Here's our calendar. You have your hotkey list that you've chosen and downloaded. You've watched Welcome Week 1, which is what this is. Then you're going to go through your Dropbox setup, then your week 1 playing, and then you can actually get into the assignment by watching this web page assets video. Okay. When you're, where are we at? There it is. By Wednesday, you're going to do this introductory forum. Okay. That was the one I showed you before, that you're going to do a little description about yourself and then pick one of those quotes and then put that in there. Okay. For each week, you will have a summary. Okay, so when you do your web page assets, you turn it in, you drop it into your Dropbox folder, And then you're going to come in here and you're going to answer these questions. What aspects of the assignments were most difficult? How did you overcome it? What are your thoughts? How could you use this topic in another fashion or scenario? So you'll get a point for answering this and for applying to somebody else's. Okay? So this is easy, super duper easy points. All you got to do, write down some stuff, wait for someone else to post, and then reply to theirs. Okay? It's not difficult. Don't lose points in stupid ways. That's one of the stupid ways to lose points, because it's one of the easiest things that you can do. Some weeks will have files that are part of it. So for 3D textures, you'll see there's files here. For the image manipulation, there's files there. Okay? So make sure you're paying attention to that as well. What else? Oh, the grading scale for the class. I'm going to roll this up. So the grading scale for this class, 100 to 98 is an A. 97 to 93 is an A minus. 92 to 89 is a B plus. 88 to 85 is a B. Okay, so you'll notice that the solid A is only 3 points. So if you want a solid A in the class, you really got to work for it. Okay, I don't give out A's because that makes no sense at all. Typically what should happen is you're going to have, in a typical class, you're going to have a group of B students, you're going to have a group of C students, and you may have a group of D students, and then you may have like 1 or 2 people who fall into this E category, and you have 1 or 2 people who fall into these A categories. Okay? If everyone is up here, then our bar is set way too low. Okay? That means that A is now become average. So that should shift down to here, which is what C means, which is average. Okay? So it's not. All right. Close these. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video, maybe go potty real quick, and then jump into the Dropbox setup, and then you can jump into the week 1 playing. This goes through just some basics of Photoshop. How do you open it up, make new files? How do you save stuff? How do you use some of the tools? What do layers mean? Pretty simple stuff. Okay. You can come by at any point and check your grades. They're laid out pretty easy. You'll see how many points each assignment is out of. You'll see the due date. You'll see your score. Okay. You can see the dates are assigned by each piece, so that should make it incredibly easy for you to find your stuff. Cool. All right, that should be it. All right, good luck. If you have questions, let me know. Shoot me an email. I want you to succeed in the class, so I want to make sure that you're prepared for what you're getting yourself into. So have fun with it. You know, it is a lot of work, but it's definitely rewarding when you get to those end phases and you really have a lot of cool stuff to show for it. All right, I'll see you in another lecture.